let's remind those who were joining us before the breaking story here in Nigeria, where 28 students who were part of a group that was abducted from Bethel Baptist High School in Kaduna State have been reunited with their families after they were released from captivity. Now, parents and religious leaders who received them say at least 87 more are still missing and called on the government to do all it can to help secure their release too. They insist no ransom was paid and the children were left at an agreed location for representatives of the Christian Association to pick them up after some negotiations. Now, the students were abducted from school on the 5th of July. The incident was just one of many in northwest Nigeria, where schools are raided by what security forces say are bandits. Parents and community leaders say they are thankful for the opportunity to be reunited with their children. We are now being joined from Kaduna by Joseph Hayab, Chairman Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State Chapter. It's good to have you with us, Mr. Hayab. Now, give us a sense of the scenario that played out regarding the release of these 28 students.
Thank you very much, and let me thank Nigerians for all their prayer support, for the show of concern and solidarity since this unfortunate incident happened to us on the 5th of July. Since then, we've been discussing, negotiating with the bandits. Finally, yesterday, or sometimes last week, few of the students actually escaped. 3 escaped and went straight to their parents. 2 who were weak were found by a good Samaritan in a farm along Abuja Road. He was the one who called the police and took them to the divisional police office in Rijana, and they brought them to Kaduna. That's the story you were told, that 2 were rescued. That's exactly what happened. Those 5 children escaped. Then 2 were found in the farm, and the farm owner took them to the police station in Rijana, but the 3 others went straight to their parents. And then you could remember that 1 had been released earlier on held ground. So we had 6 that have come back. But yesterday evening around 5 to 6 o'clock, we got a call from the bandits, and they told us the location where they have released 28 of these children. But because we couldn't go there, we asked, somehow some vigilantes saw the children and they took them to their office, and then the military came and picked them there to the 1 division. Finally, this morning from there, we brought them to school, and we have safely handed them over to their parents. You can see the children looking very weak, very tired, very sick. But we believe their parents, since we have wiped away their tears, they will go and treat them. But this is the situation. We have 28 of them, plus the other 6. We have 34 so far released. We have 87 not yet back home. We are hoping that it will not be long, they too will be released. But this is the current situation.
All right, thank you very much for bringing us up to date. But let me quickly ask, because one of the things that is uppermost on the minds of many people watching and even Nigerians alike is the issue of a ransom. And earlier on, we did hear you speak about it, and you said you do not believe in ransom paying and that you have not paid any ransom whatsoever. So it will be sort of interesting to sort of if you can tell us how you were able to sort of negotiate without any kind of ransom payment whatsoever. How did that go, and what was the basis upon which the bandits agreed to release the students without any ransom?
Well, the statement concerning ransom was not from Khan. It was actually from the leader of the church. That is the leader of the Nigerian Baptist Convention. That is the information he has, but he clearly stated this for viewers to understand. He said, it's possible ransom was paid, but not through him or through them. I think he was very clear about that. So if you want to know the story, this is exactly what he said, because I was right there beside him when he said, we can't dispute that ransom was not paid since there were so many interests, parents were involved, but we, as the Nigerian Baptist Convention, did not pay ransom. So when you talk to me as Khan or as a parent, I can give you my own understanding of the story. But my own take is, money was paid, but how was it paid? Not by the Nigerian Baptist Convention. I think that's exactly what the president said.
Okay. So in that case, why don't you tell us what really happened? Because we heard his own version. It would be sort of interesting to hear your own version. If it was paid, when was it paid? How was it paid? How much was paid?
Well, the reason of how much and when, we may not say it now for one very strict reason. The reason simply is that we have 87 of our children in the hands of this bandit. Our focus now is to get them back. When they come back, there are deeper stories we will share with Nigerians. But now we don't want to jeopardize these children. Our experience have shown that virtually most of the things we say on screen, these bandits have people among us who watch and feed them with every information, and they could just tide up their rope again and makes it difficult for the 87 people. So if you will bear with us, let's leave that matter at the moment and focus on how to get the other 84 or 87 people back home.
Indeed, it's good to know that the church is highly involved in these negotiations. But I'd like your thought on this. Did the state government play any part in securing the release of the current 28 students, and any word from the state government whatsoever regarding any form of assistance towards securing the release of the remaining 87 students still in captivity?
If the state government play any role, not to my knowledge as CAN chairman Kaduna State, and not to the knowledge of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, because I'm also of the Baptist Church and we had a thorough conversation before we presented the children. What we just know is that we've been crying, we've asked government to step up her game about securing Kaduna State people, and nothing more. At the moment, we've had them talking, we've not seen them at work. We hope that now that some efforts have been put and these children, they've started releasing these children, they will come up out strongly to show that they are government and help us to ensure that these children come out. But truly speaking, it is not good the way things are going on. We seem to be in a serious battle now between the government of bandits and the government that we legitimately elected. The bandits are illegitimate government, but they terrorize us and cause fear in us. We seem to even respect them than the legitimate government we actually voted, because the government seems not to be there for us. I said this to some journalists after presenting the children, that these children, look at how small they are, going through this ordeal. How will they grow to be patriotic? How will they grow to want to serve Nigeria? How will they grow to want to be proud that they belong to this country? Because if they have passed through this pain and their government is not there for them, it just shows that we have a government, but the government is sleeping. I hope they wake up soon before it's too late.
Now, let me ask you with regards to what the plan for CAN is for those released students in terms of their rehabilitation, in terms of refreshment, in terms of seeking medical help for the trauma that they have gone through within the last 21 days. What is CAN's planning for these released students?
The fact is that what I discussed with the parents when I arrived this morning was the situation is so dicey. We still have those ones not yet there. So the privileged parents that the 28 children have come back will on their own take these children for medical checkup in the hospital of their choice, to do it their own way. Because one thing God has done is to relieve them of coming to be sleeping in the school every day with the whole prayer vigil that we are holding. So at least they have the time to go, so that we will turn back to see how we get the other 87. But I did discuss with the chairman or the president of the Baptist in Kaduna. The fact is that what we are doing now is we've already contacted an organization called the Global Peace Foundation, which I also work with. We are going to be doing a psychosocial therapies for them, a trauma healing counseling for them. We've contacted experts. They are willing to help us. It's not going to be long, but we just realized that just focusing on the Bethel Baptist students may not be enough. We are going to do something. We are going to invite kidnapped victims and parents of Federal School of Forestry, kidnapped victims and parents of Greenfield University, and other kidnapped victims that are willing to come to talk with them and guide them and counsel them to pick back their lives and know that they can have a better life ahead than the previous experience they've had. So that one is on the pipeline. The leaders of CAN did agree on that on Friday. We visited the school with the leadership of CAN. We discussed this with the leadership of the Baptists, and we are hoping that when the children come back, we are going to start this. But I think we may not even wait. We have to start with the ones that are there and then wait for when the other ones come, we continue. I'm hoping that shortly we will call people, we will call them to start this training or this counseling for them. We've contacted experts, they are willing to help us, but we have to foot the bill and they will do it for us.
Indeed, it's heartwarming to note that such efforts are being put in place by your organization as well. But we understand that majority of the schools, or if not all in Kaduna, are currently on the break. But what's to prevent this from happening again? And how is the church bracing itself for such a possibility, especially when it has to do with negotiations with bandits?
It's a difficult thing to talk about negotiation because you receive insult. You know, talking with the bandit is one of the most regrettable things of life. But once your child is in the hands of the bandit, or the child of your member is in the hands of the bandit, or the child of any relation is in the hands of the bandit, you really don't have anything to do because you just have to behave yourself before you risk the life of the innocent child. So that's what we go through. But let me put it this way, that our effort clearly is we need to do more and more sensitization with people for us to understand how to live. Well, government in our own case is asking schools to, or they've asked schools to close, and they've extended the period of the break. They want to reschedule their calendar so that it will fit. We are waiting to hear what they are going to say in the rescheduling of the calendar. But we have offered as CAN to church-based schools facilities that are located in churches within the town. The fact is that on Friday, I specifically offered to the Bethel Baptist High School a facility in CAN premises, which is just about 500 meters away from the police headquarters, for the final year students to use and write their exams. To us, we know that place is secure and there will be enough rooms that can accommodate up to 300 students, even 100 students if they have them. And they told us that the number of students that are going to write exams are not more than 40, so we can accommodate them. There's a good hole there. There are rooms that they can sleep there until they finish writing their WAEC. We've extended that to even the other first 13 schools that were asked to close. We called them to a meeting. The few ones that came, we gave them this offer. Some are willing to come. Some said to us they've already gotten another place and they appreciated our willingness to offer our facility. And we're calling on all other churches to offer their facilities to these children, because as we battle this bandit, we must not give them room to think that they have succeeded in stopping our children from going to school. We must show that we are willing, we are going to go extra mile to provide our children an opportunity and facility where they will study, where they will not be molested, where they will not be victims of this bandit anymore. We're going to be working with government. We are always willing to work with government. I think the problem with Kaduna State government is they know too much book, but they don't understand life.
Wow. Now, one of the things that you mentioned is, you talked about the Kaduna State government, but I wanted to sort of gauge your, just to get some info regarding if you've had any cooperation or any kind of assistance with regards to these recent developments, any from traditional rulers or local leaders or local vigilantes or security personnel in terms of actually negotiating and getting back the students that have been abducted.
Truly, we must commend Vigilante. They are our brothers. They are our community people. They are doing wonderfully. The police, sometimes I don't want to talk about them. I understand their constraint. It was even after we have released the children before the police called me and now ask me question, where do we find them? How many are there? How do we find them? What exactly position do we find them? So you can imagine this. But that's how life is. There are many parts of the security agencies in Nigeria that are doing wonderfully well. But the failure of some is also giving the entire security a bad name. But at the moment, we need to just give them moral booster, encourage them to improve, encourage them to do well. After all, every police, every soldier, every security man is a member of a community. A day will come that he will no longer be in the police, he will no longer be a soldier or an army or a military man, he will no longer be in the SSS, he will no longer be in any of the security agencies, he will be part of the community. So they are still part of us. We just pray that God will protect them and they will do well. They must understand that they have a responsibility to do work for us. I said this the last time I appeared on your studio, that one of the greatest problems of Nigeria is there is so much ignorance on who really owns government. People think government owned us instead of we keeping government. Unless Nigerians, security agencies inclusive, understand that the people own the government, every time they will want to do their work, but they will be careful not to offend the man who is ruling. If the man is thinking negatively, they will have to act negatively. But when the man starts thinking positively and guide them to act positively, you will see positivity from them. That is what is going on around us, and that is why we are where we are, because many of them want to see togetherness, want people to support them, but people are just seeing the pattern, the dancing step, the handwriting, or the body language of the leaders or the political leaders, not the one they want to. I was watching one day one of the interviewers from this state, a serving person in the legislature house, saying certain things, and I was shocked. But that's how life is. There's a day you will not be there in that office. You will come and we will live in the same society with you. I pray that none of your family member or your close relation will ever be a victim of this evil that is going on. If they be, they will know the pains we are going through. We don't have joy talking to you the way we are talking to you, but we have to because we are in pains. I have not slept in the last 20 days. Every day I'm getting calls. I left this town yesterday to do something in Abuja. I have to leave Abuja by road this morning to arrive this town to receive these people. The program I'm supposed to do in Abuja, I have to delay it to come back again to do it. That is how we go. But every day you appear on TV and you say things without the fear of God. Don't you know that there will be judgment? Whatever religion you believe, you belong. Don't you know that when you do not treat people right, God will judge you? Let's be careful. We are appealing to government to be honest to themselves. People are willing to help them. Kaduna State is always there, willing to help them. But I think they've already formed prejudice against the leadership of Khan and against those who share the identity that I share as a Christian and a pastor and Khan leader. Sometimes they even come among us to divide us. Unfortunately, it is not working. Within the period, I, Reverend Hayab, have received threat from the bandits. I have it recorded. I have the date, the time, the threats, and everything they say. But we kept it to ourselves because we want these children to come out. And we are not going to be afraid until these children come out.
Indeed, those are grim realities there. And we'd like to thank you for the air of optimism from your part and, of course, those in that scenario. Now, there's still an air of uncertainty when it comes to security issues. You already alluded to that. But how is this resonating with the public in Kaduna generally?
At least today I have received many calls. People are celebrating. First, the story is as if everybody, but when they hear from me that's 28, well, they will not stop rejoicing, but they just wish that all of them had come back. So there's a sigh of relief. Yesterday, after many visitations we had on Friday as the leadership of Khan, yesterday I gave a press statement. And one of the words I say is that Kaduna people must be positive. Must begin to think positive and find something that will give them joy. Because if every day you wake up, all the story you hear is about kidnapping, payment of ransom, lack of job, people being sacked from office, people have not been paid, and all these things, people have not paid house rent, have not paid school fees, cannot pay medical bills, it just depresses you and demoralizes you. So we are asking people to find something to make them happy. And I must say, and I want to use this medium to appeal, that we must deliberately find a reason to be happy. Because if we don't find a reason to be happy, we will die and these problems have not yet been solved. So we have to be alive to solve the problem. Let's be cheerful and be hopeful. I believe that our governor can do it because when we wanted him to be governor, we knew his capability. But I think he has been surrounded by wrong advice and he has allowed power to just take over his mind and prejudice to govern his judgment that nobody tells him anything. Some people are already against him. No, sir, we love you, we care for you, we want you to be the best. But you must be a human being to be the best.
Now, today was a wonderful day for the parents of the 28 children that were released today. But some of those parents that came through to the venue today did not see their own parents. What's your message to those parents who have not seen their children?
Actually, I had few words there, but specifically just for the parents that have not seen their children. Let them have hope that the way and manner these other 28 came back, that is the way their own children are going to come back. They must show solidarity with these ones whose children have come back, and those whose children have come back, they must show joy with these ones whose children have come back, and those whose children have come back must show solidarity with those whose children are yet to come back. I was privileged my son was not taken, but I've always stand with them because I believe this thing affects all of us and we must stand in that spirit. But you know, it was one of the most difficult things to do because I remember one of the mothers, the wife of my late friend, whose only daughter was taken. She didn't see her daughter, not knowing that her daughter was in the car. She broke down. It was difficult to console her in that place. It was when we started calling the name because we kept the children in the bus or in the 3 buses that came with them and called them one after the other to come after the speeches. When she had her daughter, she couldn't believe it's true. But that's how life is. So it's a very difficult situation, but I'm still appealing to parents, those of you whose children are not back, be hopeful. We are believing that it will not be long. We are still pressing button. We are still doing everything humanly possible. And we are appealing to our government to also do something. These children will come back. A day will come that instead of all these pains I'm expressing, I'll be expressing joy. I will say thank you to this, thank you to that, thank you to that. I want to do that. I don't want to be angry on screen anymore. I want to just be happy. I want to thank people. But because my children are still out there, I can come and celebrate at the moment.
Indeed, your optimism is highly noted there. And, are you getting support from the highest level of the Christian Association of Nigeria? And what has been their role in this kidnap saga?
I must commend the president of CAN, the entire executive of CAN, or the president in council. They were with me. The fact is that they wrote me a letter of commendation and encouragement just to show me they are with me. We were together in Lagos just on Wednesday and Thursday. We had a meeting at Alausa. They prayed for me and they encouraged me. They have supported in tremendous way. I thank them. I lack words to express the way they have shown love. The General Secretary of CAN is just wonderful. The President is just wonderful. The President of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, these men have been great and wonderful. We are going to tell Nigeria more about what we've gone through when all our children are back. Because for now, we just wanted to share the joy of the 28 and also express our concern for the 87 that are yet to be back.
Now, one of the things you said about the students being released today is that, there will be a lot that will be done for them. But I also wanted to ask with regards to any kind of support for the parents and even the school as well, apart from the children, that is. And also, just to wrap up my question to roll it all into one. One of the things that you said earlier on is that, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I heard that you were supporting and helping some Christian-based schools around your area there. So should religion come into play when we have such incidents as kidnapping?
Yeah, the issue is simple. They were asked to close down because of insecurity. They have their final year students who are supposed to write exams. Probably they don't have enough funds to start going to look for a place where they're going to rent. And if we offer them support, don't forget that students of those schools are not exclusively Christians. The school belong to churches, Christian schools, but students are not Christians. So our love for education in Nigeria is making us to give or to make those offers. And as I said, when we come to this psychosocial counseling or trauma counseling we want to do for them, that's why we are expanding it to the kidnap victims of Federal School of Forestry, Greenfield University, so that there's nothing about religion in it. We are talking about our children. We are talking about Nigerian future leaders. And so, but because the help is coming from a faith-based group, do not show that it's about faith. Don't forget, when missionaries came to Nigeria or came to Africa many years ago, they started school. Mighty and great Africans who became leaders went through missionary schools. Then the prejudice and divisions about and stereotyping about religions was not there. All they wanted was education for their children. The famous and celebrated M.Q. Abiola went to a Baptist school. And we can mention so many. The former Vice President of Nigeria, Architect Namadi Sambo, went to a Baptist primary school, because I know this very well. He can confirm that. So we don't talk about that. So there was really nothing like that. I have friends who went to missionary school and so on. The former emir of Kano went to a missionary school. And there are many that if I want to mention their names, we will sleep here calling names. The whole thing is that we've come to a time when people just out of selfishness are instigating their people or their friends or their children to see people who in the past were true neighbors, true friends, as if they are enemies in the name of religion or using ethnicity. But I can say to Nigerians that these things are purely politics. They're just doing it to get office. They're just doing it to get power. They're just doing it to go and steal our money, if that is what. Because at the end of the day, when they steal Nigerian money, they don't separate the money between Muslims and Christians. They just do these things and cause us all pains. They've not done enough for us. So those people who think that everything is about one religion may not understand this. But you see, as Khan and as Christians, if my children are sick, I should cry out as their father, they're sick. If the Muslims or the JNI children are sick, they should cry out that their children are sick. A famous legislator did say one recently, and that's the truth, that the reason why the cry is mostly from Christians is because our counterparts are afraid to cry so that they will not hit at them, because they will be tagged as enemies of their region or enemies of their religion. I am a lover of Northern region. I am a lover of my faith. I am a lover of Nigeria. And when I cry out, I'm not crying out to paint anybody bad. I'm crying out so that they will repair what is bad, so that all of us will be happy. There is a famous Hausa adage that says, when I ask you to take care of your things, I'm not asking you to bring it down so that we'll share it with you. So that's exactly what we're asking. We're asking them, take care of the flock that God has given in your custody. We're not asking you that, okay, share your power as governor with me. I don't even want to be governor. I'm just satisfied being a pastor, a preacher, and a father, and a facilitator in many conferences. That's all I want to be.
Indeed, point well noted. Joseph Hayab, Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State Chapter, would like to thank you for joining us on Newsday, and also your efforts in securing the release of the abducted Bethel students, Baptist High School students. Thank you very much.